So I know I'm a little late. I told you guys last week that I was going to review episode 4 of The Mandalorian and that I was going to briefly go over the first 3, but you know, life happens. I haven't really had time to sit down and make a review the past couple days. So this isn't going to be like a quick little review on each episode like I originally planned. It's basically just going to be a talk about the show so far. And then hopefully after this video, I will start doing from now until the end of this season a review on each episode that comes out. So yeah, this show is badass, okay? Don't ever let anybody tell you differently. This is probably the best thing that Star Wars has going for it right now in terms of uniting the fan base. I mean, it's obviously no shocker that a lot of people did not dig The Last Jedi, even though I did. And therefore, people aren't really looking forward to the Rise of Skywalker, but you better believe your butt that they're looking forward to seeing what happens to little Baby Yoda. And I know, he's not actually Baby Yoda, but that's what we're all calling him because we don't know his species. I really do love this show. I think it's phenomenally done. Every single character in the show is fully realized. And I just gotta thank the Lord above for Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau for making this show. Episode 1 was a great introduction to the show and a great introduction to the character of Mando. That's what I'm gonna call him because that's what they call him in the show. Plus it's kind of like a mouthful to say the Mandalorian every single time you want to relate to the Mandalorian. So I'm just gonna call him Mando. The first episode kind of, you saw what he was doing and you saw him go on a couple missions of him being a bounty hunter, and he's badass at that. He's obviously one of the best in the galaxy. And then at the episode, it hits you with that damn Baby Yoda, and I was on board before. Trust me, I was on board before, but like I saw Baby Yoda and I flipped out and I was like, this is going in a direction that one, I didn't know was going to go in this direction. I didn't expect it to go in this kind of direction. And two, the direction that it's going is absolutely fantastic. I think that discovering Yoda's species in this way is the best way to go about this. Or if it's not really a Yoda species, but maybe a clone or something or other, I don't know. I just think it's a fantastic MacGuffin to get the plot moving forward after that first episode. Now, the second episode, I'm not gonna lie, it's not boring or anything, but the episodes that I've seen, it's definitely my least favorite. It does have that great sequence of him going up the Jawa Cybertruck, which is what I love to call it now. And it had that disgusting scene of them eating the egg at the very end. And if you didn't think that Jawas were complete scum to begin with, then you really do think they're scum now. But at least they're funny to watch. And I just think that episode 2 really could have been tacked on to the end of the first episode and made it a whole hour and 10 minutes, something like that. And I feel like it would have been just a great first episode of that if episode 1 and episode 2 were just one full episode, and then episode 3 was episode 2, if you're getting my gist. I just think it would have flowed better. Episode 2, in retrospect, seems kind of like a filler episode, but I'm not really complaining because it was still entertaining as hell. And then episode 3 is where it started getting really interesting. He comes back with Baby Yoda. He's all concerned about, what they're gonna do with him. And you can tell that there's something going on in his mind. Obviously, we know sort of like the backstory of Mando, of him being hunted down by whoever when he was a kid, and his parents being murdered, and then the Mandalorians took him in, and now he's a Mandalorian for the rest of his life. But you can really tell, even through his helmet, he expresses emotions. And that's honestly one of the greatest things about this show, is that you get exactly what Mando is thinking, even though you can't see his face. It does these great close-ups of him, and when you listen to the music, you know exactly what he's thinking. And obviously, I think he sees a little bit of himself in the little Baby Yoda, because now it's like, I don't know if he's having any sort of like regret that he let, his parents die or whatever, and now he's like, I can't let this little dude die. And I just think it really brings somebody like that a little bit down to earth and makes him really relatable. Because you have to, think about it. I mean, bounty hunters are not bad people, but they're not necessarily good people either. They're literally either killing or capturing people for money. And I think this is the first time where he's actually thinking about his humanity and, what he's doing and stuff. And honestly, I don't think that he's enjoying it as much as he used to. And that fantastic action sequence at the very end of episode 3 when all the Mandalorians came out of the dark, Oh my god, I got chills so many times. That was such a badass scene, and I freaking loved every single minute of it. And then episode 4 was awesome too, you know? This could have been one of those episodes that seemed like a filler episode, a lot like episode 2, but I liked this one a lot more than episode 2 because of the direction and the characters that we meet in this episode. We meet the widow and her child, and then we meet the other bounty hunter, I think, who used to be a rebel, I'm pretty sure. I think I heard that. She used to be a rebel, but now she's being hunted by bounty hunters and all that, and she thought that he was gonna come kill her. And Bryce Dallas Howard, she's the one who directed episode 4. She should direct more shit. Some of these shots in this episode are glorious. And the way characters interact with each other, you can tell that she's a very experienced and very talented director, and I want her to do more roles. And then there's that one scene at the end of episode 4 where I didn't think they were gonna kill off Baby Yoda, but for like 1 second, it really intensified to the point where I was like, I really hope they're not, you know, pulling a page book from Game of Thrones and they're gonna kill Baby Yoda in the 4th episode of this season. But luckily they didn't, and obviously I'm happy for that. I wanna see where this goes. I'm absolutely loving the show so far, and at first I wasn't too sure about them releasing it week after week like a traditional show where we're all so used to Netflix just giving you the entire show and you binge it in one night. But I actually kind of appreciate the fact that they're giving you episode by episode by week, because then it's like you get time to digest what you saw, you get time to digest the characters, and you even have time to like go back and rewatch what we have already seen. And I really enjoy that aspect. Actually, it was kind of a risky move in this day and age, but I appreciate them for doing it. So yeah, those are just my thoughts on The Mandalorian so far. I really love this show. I think it's fantastic. I'm really looking forward to see what they're gonna do with the story in the next month or so. And yeah, so have you guys seen it? What have you guys thought about it so far? How cute do you think Baby Yoda is? Do you think Mando is a girl? I've actually heard that theory before, that they're gonna pull like a Metroid. I think that's the game, where the whole game you thought that he, like Metroid or whatever, was a dude, but then at the very end he pulls off his helmet, it's a girl. And I really think that could be a cool little aspect to the show, but I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I think it'd be really interesting to see that play out. And as always, thanks for watching.